For centuries, the legend has called to us, a colossal ship, a world-ending flood, one family chosen to survive. This is the story of Noah's Ark. Many believe it's just a myth. But what if it's more? What if the Ark was real? And what if after all this time someone actually found it? Imagine the scene. A global catastrophe, water everywhere. One vessel, a sanctuary for life. Explorers, adventurers, and believers have searched. They've scoured mountains and remote lands, all looking for a trace of this legendary ship. Recent claims from Turkey have electrified the world. Could a strange formation on a mountainside be it? Could this be the final resting place of Noah's Ark? The evidence is tantalizing. So are these new claims credible? What have they really found in the Turkish mountains? Join me as we delve into this incredible mystery. The truth about Noah's Ark might be closer than we think. The story of Noah and the Great Flood is ancient. It's most famously told in the book of Genesis. God, displeased with humanity, decides to start anew. He instructs Noah, a righteous man, to build an ark, a gigantic wooden vessel. Noah is to bring his family, and pairs of every kind of animal. Then, the rains come. 40 days and 40 nights. The world is submerged, but the ark floats, a promise of a new beginning. But the tale isn't unique to one tradition. Similar stories of a massive flood echo across cultures. Long before Genesis was written down, Mesopotamians told of Utnapishtim. He too built a boat to survive a divinely sent deluge. This story is found in the Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest known pieces of literature. The parallels are striking. A warning, a boat, saved animals, survival. Consider ancient Greece. They had Deucalion and Pyrrha. Hindu scriptures tell of Manu. Native American cultures from the Hopi to the Anishinaabe have flood stories. The Ark, in all its forms, symbolizes hope. When people talk about Noah's Ark, one name always comes up: Mount Ararat. This massive snow-capped volcano stands in eastern Turkey. It's near the borders of Armenia and Iran. The book of Genesis says the Ark rested on the mountains of Ararat. This phrase is key. It doesn't pinpoint one specific peak. But tradition has long focused on Greater Ararat. Its majestic and imposing presence seems fitting. Mount Ararat isn't just any mountain, it's a dormant volcano, the highest peak in Turkey. Its summit is over 16,854 feet high. The area is remote, rugged, and often politically sensitive. This makes any expedition challenging. Many have tried to find the Ark here, from ancient historians to modern explorers. Josephus, a first-century Jewish historian, mentioned people seeing Ark remnants. Marco Polo, in the 13th century, noted its reputed location. The allure of Ararat is undeniable. Its icy slopes hold secrets. Many climbers and researchers have reported strange sightings. Anomalies in aerial photographs have sparked excitement. However, these claims are often difficult to verify. Ararat remains the prime suspect in the hunt for Noah's Ark. While Mount Ararat itself gets much attention, another site nearby is crucial. It's called the Durupinar Formation, named after Turkish Army Captain İlhan Durupinar. He identified it in aerial photographs in 1959. This site isn't on the high slopes of Ararat, it's about 18 miles south of the main peak, near the village of Uzungili. What caught his eye was its remarkable shape. It looked like a massive buried ship. The dimensions were even said to match those given in Genesis. The initial discovery caused a stir. A team of American researchers visited in 1960. They conducted some preliminary investigations. But their conclusion was disappointing for Ark enthusiasts. They suggested it was a natural geological formation. Interest waned for a while. The site was largely dismissed by mainstream science. But for some, the ship-like outline was too compelling. Enter Ron Wyatt, an amateur archaeologist. In the late 1970s, he began to champion the Durupinar site. Wyatt's work reignited interest in Durupinar. Section 5. Unearthing Secrets. The 2023 to 2024 revelations. Fast forward to recent times and the mystery deepens. The Durupinar site is back in the spotlight, and a new team of researchers has been hard at work. The Mount Ararat and Noah's Ark research team includes experts from Istanbul Technical University, Andrew University in the USA, and Agri Ibrahim Sisin University in Turkey. They've been conducting extensive studies since 2021. Their goal? To scientifically investigate the formation using modern technology and rigorous methods. They've employed techniques like ground-penetrating radar and electrical resistivity tomography. These methods allow them to see beneath the surface, to map out subsurface structures without extensive digging. The initial results from these scans were promising. They indicated distinct layers and angular structures, things you might not expect in a purely natural formation. This spurred them on to the next phase, taking samples. The big news broke in late 2023 and early 2024. The team announced they had collected rock and soil samples, and these samples were taken from deep within the formation. The analysis of these samples yielded exciting claims. They reported finding aged rock and soil samples, and crucially, materials containing organic matter. This was a significant development. It suggested more than just dirt and rocks. It hinted at something else buried there. The team believes their work provides strong new evidence that the Durupinar Formation is not natural, but could indeed be linked to the remains of Noah's Ark. The scientific world is now watching very closely. Section 6. Reading the rocks, carbon dating, and ancient clues. The real bombshell from the recent research, the carbon dating results. The team announced that samples from the Durupinar Formation have been dated. They analyze materials found within the structure. These materials, they say, point to human presence. And they fall within a very interesting time frame, between 5500 and 3000 BC. That's over 5,000 to 7,500 years ago, a period deep in antiquity. Why is this date range so significant? Well, it aligns remarkably well with the biblical timeline. Many scholars place the Great Flood around this era. If the Ark landed and people lived there, this is when it could have happened. Professor Kaya stated that the dating indicates human activity, around the time of the legendary flood. This is a crucial piece of their argument. It's one thing to find a boat-shaped hill. It's another to find materials from that specific ancient period, materials that suggest human interaction. Section 7. Science versus Scripture. The great debate heats up. The claims about Durupinar are not without their critics. This is where the story gets really interesting. You have a clash of perspectives, a debate between different ways of seeing the world. On one side you have biblical archaeologists and believers. They see compelling evidence for a monumental discovery, a confirmation of ancient texts. They point to the shape, the dimensions, the new dating, and the reported presence of ancient, potentially man-made materials. For them, the pieces of the puzzle are falling into place. On the other side, you have many geologists and mainstream scientists. They remain highly skeptical. They argue that the Durupinar Formation is likely natural, a syncline, which is a type of geological fold. This can create elongated, boat-like shapes. They suggest that what looks like a ship is a form of pareidolia. That's when our brains see familiar patterns in random shapes, like seeing animals in clouds, or a face on the moon, or perhaps an arc in a hill. The burden of proof for an extraordinary claim like finding Noah's Ark is immense. Section 8. A world watching faith, hope, and a potential miracle. The news from Turkey hasn't stayed quiet. It has rippled across the globe, sparking excitement, debate, and a whole lot of curiosity. When you talk about Noah's Ark, people listen. It's a story known by billions, across different religions and cultures. The possibility of it being real, tangible, that captures the imagination like few things can. Media outlets worldwide have picked up the story, from serious news channels to internet forums. Everyone wants to know, did they really find it? For many people of faith, this is more than just an archaeological dig. It's a potential affirmation of their deepest beliefs. If Noah's Ark is found, it could be seen as physical proof. Proof of a story central to Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. It could strengthen faith for millions. Imagine the impact. Pilgrims might flock to the site. It could become a major center of religious significance. The discovery would resonate on a deeply personal level for many, a connection to a sacred past made real. Section 9. The mystery endures what lies beneath the Turkish soil. So, where does this leave us? Standing at a fascinating crossroads of history, science, and faith. The team in Turkey is confident. They believe they are on the verge of something monumental. Their research at the Durupinar Formation continues. More analysis, more digging, more data. They promise more revelations to come. The tantalizing clues, the boat shape, the ancient dating, the organic materials, they all point towards an extraordinary possibility. A possibility that has eluded seekers for millennia. Yet, the skepticism remains strong in many scientific circles, and that's a healthy part of the process. Extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. The geological explanations for the Darupanar site are plausible. The challenges of definitively proving it's Noah's Ark are immense. Every piece of evidence will be scrutinized. Every interpretation will be debated. This is how science moves forward, through rigorous testing and open discussion. The final verdict is still very much out. The truth is out there. We just have to find it.